Okay, just going to give it a little bit of time and let people join in on the live feed before I start talking and taking us through our program for today. It appears we've got the neighbour's dog probably joining in on the session from time to time, chiming in. He's just checking me out from across the driveway. All right, give it a few more seconds and then I'm going to run through what our program will be today. All right, before we jump into it, welcome to the session for today. So if you joined along last week, my name's Tammy. I'm part of the 776 BC team here in Melbourne. I'm also a strength and conditioning coach. I've been in the industry for about 10 years or so. And I also compete in Olympic weightlifting as a masters athlete. So I'm going to take you through a bit of a program for today. You won't really need anything, maybe a mat if you're working on a hard surface, and later on there'll be an option to add a weight. So I'm going to use a weight plate because I have one accessible, but if you don't, maybe a book or a pot seems to be a popular one. It'll be something we'll be holding overhead, but you will have a chance to grab that before we get started. But to begin with, I always like to start off with a warm-up. So I'm going to take you through a warm-up similar to last week. If you joined in, it will be 3 rounds and we'll move through this one together. Okay, so just grab yourself a little bit of space and we'll start this warm-up. Okay, so just starting off, the first movement will be a lunge and twist for 10 reps. So just come along with me. You'll lunge down and twist across the bent leg. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we'll go into some side crunches, so coming down onto your back. Again, this will be 10 reps. Just reaching for those ankles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flipping over onto the belly. Now we'll move into a back extension. So we pop the hands under the chin and we extend the back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. So that's 1 round through. Let's go for 2 more rounds. Back to the start with the lunge and twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Coming down for those crunches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip it over onto the belly. And 10 back extensions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more round of our warm-up. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Crunches, so onto the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip it over, finish off with 10 back extensions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Okay, so that's our warm-up to begin with. What I've got for you, programmed for you today is basically, again, it's some interval style training. We're going to start off with a bit of an ab smash. So this will be 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. So we call this Tabata. Basically, you'll work hard for the 20 seconds and you'll get a 10-second rest. There's going to be 4 different movements that we'll go through for the abs. So I'm going to demonstrate what they are first, and then you'll just follow along with me. It works out to be 8 rounds and it equals 4 minutes of work. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but again, it's quite quick, and you just keep cycling through the different ab movements. So I'll demonstrate them first. I've got a timer that we'll work off, and I'll call out when you're working and when you're resting. So first movement. For the first one, it'll be a bicycle crunch. So it's just, that'll be our first one. The second movement we'll move into is a scissor kick. So nice fast legs. Your third movement will be a hip raise. And our last movement of our sequence will be a hollow body hold. There's a couple of variations here depending where you're at, but the aim of the game is always to keep the lower back in contact with the floor. So you set up, you reach for the ankles, lower back press to the floor. If you're able to, you can extend the legs as long as the lower back stays in contact with the floor. So effectively, we'll cycle through those movements. Basically, we'll go through them twice. But again, don't worry, I'm going to tell you what's happening. So just make sure you've got yourself a little bit of space and we'll jump into it. Okay, we're going to get a 3-second count in. Remember, our first movement is going to be 20 seconds of bicycle crunches. 3, 2, 1, off you go. And 10-second rest. Our next movement will be those scissor kicks. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Scissor kicks, nice and fast. And rest. Our next movement will be those hip raises. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. And rest. Our next movement will be that hollow body hold. And off you go. Reach for the ankles, press the lower back to the floor, or extend those legs. Lower back stays in contact. Squeeze the feet together. one more time through, and off you go. And rest. The next one, back to the scissor kicks. And off you go. Nice and fast. And rest. Next one will be those hip raises. And go. Okay, one more station to go is that hollow body hold. So one more block of 20 seconds and go. Ten seconds. And rest. Whew. Okay. The Tabata. So if you haven't done it before, short but sweet, but hopefully you felt that pretty quickly. 20 seconds of work working on the abs. I know I can feel mine. So I'll give you a minute to grab a drink. I'm just going to reset our clock and then I'm going to explain the movements for the next part of the interval training. Okay. All right. So the next piece of work we'll do is going to be basically leg focused. So similar format of what we've just done. However, the interval periods will now be 1 minute rather than really short and sharp 20-second blocks. It's an EMOM, so every minute on the minute, with 4 different stations. The first station will be a 45-second wall sit. So hopefully you've got somewhere nearby that you'll be able to use for this one. So with the wall sit, you'll have the back up against the wall and the legs at a right angle. And we basically just want to hang out there for 45 seconds. So again, I'll demonstrate. So we're just going to hang out for 45 seconds and hopefully no hands on the knees for support. The second station will be 20 lunges. This is where you have the option to add a little bit of load if you want to. If you don't want to, they'll be regular alternating lunges. Work to a range that's pain-free, so if you're unable to go all the way down, that's completely fine. Reduce that range that allows you to work pain-free. If you want to add a load of some sort, whatever it is you've been able to grab your hands on, it will be overhead. Okay. You will complete your 20 reps. Once your 20 reps are done, the remainder of the minute will be a rest. So again, I will be calling out the times. Then minute 3 will be a 45-second plank. So if you've still got your mat out, you might want to use it. So with the plank, either working from the toes, keeping those shoulders stacked, or down to the knees. You'll get a 15-second rest before we move into the minute 4, which will be 20 regular air squats or 10 squat jumps. So your regular squat extend the hips at the top. And again, working through a range of motion that's pain-free. Or your squat jumps. Squat jump just adds a little bit more explosiveness, a little bit more taxing on the body, but it's up to you which one you want to take. Whichever one you pick, I suggest staying with that for the entire workout. So this workout is designed as an interval that allows a rest period each minute. So with those squats, once you've completed your 20 squats or your 10 squat jumps, the remainder of that minute is a break before we go back to the wall sit. So hopefully that makes sense. So find yourself, I guess, any bits and pieces that you need. So a mat, any weight if you want to use it, and hopefully you're near a wall, and we'll jump into it. I'll just move the clock. Okay, so that very first one, 45-second wall sit, and we'll kick it off as soon as I get past the clock and press go. Okay. And off you go, wall sit. No hands on the knees. Make sure you keep breathing through this one and not getting into a stress state by holding the breath. The lactic acid will start to build up in those quads. Good. We have 10 seconds left. And rest. Your next station will be those lunges. Remember, it's 20 lunges. You can add weight if you want to. In 3, 2, 1, and off you go. Lost count. Okay, you're going to call that 20. I lost count. You have 30 seconds left. Okay, 10 seconds. Our next station is the 45-second plank. So on the knees or the toes, and go. So make sure to squeeze those glutes and legs. Don't let the hips sink down or come up too high. Seconds left. And rest. Okay, the next station is the 20 squats or 20 squat jumps. Your choice. I'm going to have a go at the squat jumps. And go! Okay. So that's one round through. We have 2 more rounds to go. So we'll be going back to the start, which will be our wall sit. We have 30 seconds rest left. So give those legs a shake out if they're starting to feel a little bit heavy. 15 seconds, so start to head back to your wall. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 45 seconds. So again, use this, get that breathing back in check. Okay, you have 15 seconds left. 5. And rest. Okay, back to those lunges. In 5 seconds. And go, 20 reps. Count that time, I definitely got 20. Okay, you have 20 seconds before we head down to that plank. 10 seconds. And go. Okay, 15 seconds. And rest. Okay, in 10 seconds we go to the squats or the squat jumps. So remember 20 regular squats or 10 squat jumps. And go! Okay, that puts us halfway through, so we're going to repeat that 2 more times. You have a 30-second rest. So we're heading back to the 45-second wall sit. Ten seconds. 5. And hold. Okay, 15 seconds left. Five seconds. I got excited. Rest. Okay, back to our lunges. And go. 20 lunges. Okay, 2 more stations to go. Down for the plank. 10 seconds. And hold. Okay, those legs are probably feeling quite heavy. If you need to drop to the knees, drop to the knees. We have 15 seconds. Five seconds. And rest. Okay, last station, squat jumps. So this is our last minute of work. And go. So finish off your squats. Okay, there's 30 seconds left on the clock. Okay, last 20 seconds to finish it off. And 5 seconds. And time. So give those legs a bit of a shake out. I think I might have falsely told you earlier we were halfway through, but we really only had 1 round left. So that was 12 minutes of work that we've just done for the legs. What I just want to finish off with is a bit of a hip flexor stretch, known as the couch stretch. So the name can be a bit deceiving. Some of you probably know what a couch stretch is. If you have a chair available, or your couch, or the wall that you're doing the wall sit on, that will also work. Basically what we're going to do is stretch through here, through the hip flexor, which tends to shorten and tighten up while we're sitting down or driving or doing a lot of load with squats or whatever, or lunges, whatever it might be. So this is an aim just to lengthen out back through that hip flexor. So I'm just going to show you the setup. I'm going to use a chair just to make it easy to demonstrate, but this is what it will look like. Okay, the idea is that I'm just trying to create a bit of length through that hip flexor. If you find it challenging to be in an upright position, you can bring a hand down for support. If it's too intense, then you just bring the knee a little further away from where your target is. So find yourself a spot to set up in. We're going to do 1 minute each side to finish off. Okay, so our minute starts now. opportunity to bring the heart rate back down. So we inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Just trying to get back into that relaxed, more relaxed state. Just try and keep those hips square as well, not favoring one side or the other if possible. That puts us halfway. Okay, 20 seconds. Okay, last 10 seconds. Good. Slowly come out of that stretch. Stand up, give it a little bit of a shake out. 3 to 5 squats, just to move back through a range of motion. Good. Of course, we need to do the other side as well. So when you're ready, set yourself up on the side you haven't worked on. Good. So same thing, just try and stay relaxed in that breathing. You may notice that one side is a little more challenging than the other. Perhaps you're more dominant on one side, quite often we are. So just take note of what you're feeling for yourself. It'll be a little bit different for everyone. That's halfway. I can definitely tell myself this right side's a lot more tighter than the left. Okay, last 10 seconds. Good. Again, come slowly out of that stretch. And when you're ready, onto the feet. 3 to 5 squats just to see how that feels. Good. That's the type of stretch that you can do quite regularly. I recommend it too, especially if you're finding yourself sitting a lot more for longer periods of time at the moment during your work day. This is a good one to be able to implement and just try in an effort to try and make sure you keep those hip flexors nice and lengthened. But that's it from my session for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to drop any comments onto the live video if you have any questions or any feedback. But stay tuned for the rest of the athletes throughout the week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining.